The Lake District is one of the most stunning areas of Britain, immortalised in the poetry of William Wordsworth. Grasmere was where the poet William Wordsworth lived and made his first family home. By the time he settled here in 1799, Wordsworth had travelled all over Europe, across France into Switzerland, and visited the Italian lakes. But having seen these beautiful places, he still described Grasmere as the loveliest spot that man hath ever found. In 1799, Wordsworth rented a small lakeland cottage, formerly an inn called the Dove and Olive Bough, where he settled down with his sister Dorothy to concentrate on writing. The conditions were basic, with no running water, lit by candles, open fires for heating and cooking, and a meagre diet. But it was here, during this period of plain living but high thinking, that Wordsworth wrote his best and most famous poems. Dove Cottage is preserved as it was when William and Dorothy lived there. The cottage and the museum next door are open all year round. In 1802, William Wordsworth and Dorothy went on a walking trip to visit friends. After several days of walking across countryside and rough tracks, they arrived on the shores of Ullswater. Today, even if you take your time, you can reach Ullswater in around 40 minutes. That day, Dorothy wrote in her journal, "The wind was furious, the lake was rough. We saw a few daffodils close to the waterside. But as we went along there, more and yet more. I never saw daffodils so beautiful, they grew among the mossy stones. Some rested their heads upon these stones as on a pillow for weariness, and the rest tossed and reeled and danced." A couple of years later, William was reminded of Dorothy's diary entry and, by his own account, wrote the first of many versions of the most famous poem in the English language.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.
So why not avoid the hustle and bustle of the Lake District's major resorts and follow in the footsteps of William Wordsworth?